Hello chums, and welcome to Setups for Simpletons. I've created an entire series dedicated to explaining Gran Turismo 7's quirky and sometimes unforgiving tuning system, but sometimes it's nice to just copy someone else's homework and be done with it. So in this series I will take one car at a time, show a complete setup, and a lap of the Nürburgring for good measure. Disclaimer, if you use my setup it does not mean you're a simpleton. Let's begin! If you've been following my supercar shootout series, you'll know that I'm testing all of the cars at 700 performance points. Now, I've had a couple of requests for these setups. Rather than bulk out the supercar videos even further, I wanted to split off the individual setups into their own videos, meaning that I could get some Nürburgring laps in as well. Today we start with the Alfa Romeo 8C Competizione. For the visuals, the car has the wide body fitted along with aftermarket wheels in the standard size. Increasing the size can slightly improve agility, but it will be unsettled by the curbs more. Decreasing the size will make the ride slightly softer. It has a front splitter for front downforce, and a custom wing set for the precious rear downforce. This is a 700 performance point setup, so not every upgrade has been fitted. I've gone for weight reduction up to stage 2 in order to prioritise power output instead of weight loss. For power upgrades, I've prioritised camshafts, crankshaft and conrods because they don't increase torque, allowing for more peak power. When setting a car up for a performance point limit, maxing out the rear downforce and setting a fairly low front downforce value will usually reduce the performance point rating and improve stability, and will allow for more power. In almost every case, it works out faster overall, though the car can feel understeery. If you do find this setup too numb, you can max out the front downforce at the expense of losing about 15 horsepower. The rest of the setup is typical of what I would usually do for a front-engined rear-wheel drive car. The Alfa Romeo 8C is a pretty satisfying car to drive. With 200 horsepower more than standard, it can be prone to kicking the tail out on corner exit, though it is fairly easy to avoid and makes for a nice driving experience when driven smoothly. When compared to the other cars in the supercar shootout though, the Alfa isn't making much of a case for itself, especially when you consider its price. So far, its only points have been scored in the fuel economy test, which was when all of the cars were stock, so it's not all that surprising given this is one of the least powerful cars in the roster without upgrades. I'll slowly be working through the rest of the supercars from the shootout series to A. Share my setup, and B. See how they fare around the Nordschleife. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, please do watch the supercar shootout series. I've put tons of effort in, and about 12 people have watched it so far. The 700 performance point Alfa Romeo 8C got around the green hill in 6 minutes 39 seconds, which is a time. I've only created 2 other 700 performance point tunes so far, the R34 Skyline, which was 5 seconds faster, and the Ferrari F50, which was half a second slower. So, that was my setup for the Alfa 8C at 700 performance points. I hope it helped. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, subscribe, and kick my bell so that you get notified of my future uploads. Take care of yourself, and ta-ra.